Hi,
Hi,
I'm Allison Powers.
I'm Tim Ajovsky.
I'm Sam Finkel.
And we will be going over some confusing psych terms to help you guys prepare for the AP. So first we've got proactive versus retroactive interference. So proactive interference is when previously learned material causes us to forget new information, whereas retroactive is when recently learned material causes us to forget old information that we already know.
Use proactive and you keep forgetting that you don't have acne anymore would be a good mnemonic device to use in this situation.
Because the new information that you don't have acne is altered by the old information that you used to have acne. So you forget the new information.
Yeah.
Because you used proactive.
That.
Glad we could help. Alright, so, for example, here, if we were covering
French.
proactive interference, I might be trying to teach Tim French. He already knows Spanish, keep that in
Hola.
mind. Alright, baguette,
Hola.
baguette,
Hola.
baguette.
Hola.
Alright, Tim can't remember new information because he already knows how to speak Spanish.
Hola.
Now you know French, alright? So we're gonna learn Italian now. Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno.
Baguette.
No. So, now he can't remember how to speak French because he just learned Italian. Yay! What's next? Okay. Next we have
just keep going.
Sam, you're reading. You're
Yeah.
Hooray. Antagonist versus agonist. Agonists act like neurotransmitters, whereas antagonists are those slippery people. Block neurotransmitters.
not people.
I don't need your sass.
Okay. Alright, so a good mnemonic would be like, think of agonist as like agonist, because they force things to go. Ago. See, the word go is in there. And then here, if you can zoom in on this little ant here. Oh no, your screen's going dim. You see that ant? He looks like kind of a mean ant. Like maybe you would try and walk by him and he'd be like, stop. And that's what antagonists do.
That makes sense.
So like here, if I'm walking, Sam is an agonist, he would start walking with me because he'd be like, hey, we're buddies. Hey, agonists. Whereas if I was walking and Sam was an antagonist, it would be like, I can't get by.
This is so hard.
There you go.
There we go.
Next, Tim, you're reading.
Okay. Now we have random assignment versus random sample. And random assignment is when assigning participants to groups in an experiment. Okay, I'm sorry. And then random sample is when you're choosing participants for the experiment.
Within the experiment,
Within,
4 different groups.
No. Random sample is the one where you're choosing participants for the experiment. Random assignment is when you're assigning those people groups.
Right, so a good mnemonic would be like random sample is like, you know how when you go to get froyo, they have sample cups and you get to try whatever froyo flavors you want. You're sampling which ones you're going to put in your cup. So a random sample is when you're randomly choosing people to put in your experimental cup.
Yeah. So let's say that I'm just some random person, like over here, and Allison's the experimenter person.
Alright, so I'm going to conduct an experiment. Who do I want in it? You. Random sample. Now, I have all of the people I want, and I'm choosing group A or group B. So I'd be like, group A. I randomly assigned him to group A.
There we go.
Alright, now Sam, you're still filming, and I'm reading. Next, we have applied versus basic research. Woo. Applied research is conducted to answer a very specific question, whereas basic research is conducted just kind of to see what happens, to expand knowledge for the sake of science.
Yeah, makes sense. So one of the mnemonics that we could use for basic research is like, basic research is a basic person, so you don't really care what's going on and they just kind of go with the flow, but you apply yourself to a question when you're doing applied research, right? Does that make sense? Great. So for one of the skits, if I feel like Allison looks like a super creepy clown, I might use applied research to figure out why I hate clowns so much. Stop smiling. God damn it, you. Anyway, but I use basic research to observe and understand how Brett Goo is so cool.
Like if you were doing a basic experiment, you might look at our class and be like, I wonder who's cool in the class, and then start doing experiments to see, like, to measure coolness, and you would find that Brett Goo is the most cool.
Easily. No question.
Last but not least, don't like a Mac. Sorry, that's my hand.
Last but not least, we have self-serving bias versus self-fulfilling prophecy. These are pretty self-explanatory terms.
You're covering your mouth, Tim.
Self-serving would be a self-serving bias is much more like it helps.
Read the card.
You listen only to evidence that supports pre-existing biases. So if I play volleyball, I would never actually like pay attention to the fact that my teammates were carrying me, and if we won, then I'd totally like take all the credit. But then if we lost, it would be because of them. Like they caused us to lose. It wasn't me. Sam, it's your fault. Is it?
Thanks a lot, Sam.
God damn it, Sam. And then self-fulfilling prophecy would be working to meet a standard predicted ahead of time. So say that Sam is a pretty good student, right? But he doesn't feel really confident about this next econ test. He thinks he's going to get a 40. So Sam gets a 40 and fails econ and has to repeat the semester. And then he can't graduate.
What's that an example of?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the self-serving bias, like Tim, he likes to think that he's sporty, and like Tim, do you think you're a pretty good soccer player?
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty good soccer player.
Like an amazing soccer player, like you carry the team?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
So,
no one else does.
The problem is that you're wrong, and your teammates really are the ones that carry you, and that's an example of the self-serving bias.
Yay! Hope this clears things up.
We hope that you enjoyed learning about psychological phenomena with us. If you care as much as we do, you're gonna ace this AP.